Yeah, today been a wild day, Chad. We got Donald Trump running around here posting these videos in which, as a president, as the leader of the world and of this country, I don't think he need to be on the internet, you know, especially sharing that video that everybody's talking about. It just was a bad look, you know. And of course, you're gonna have certain people that run with it, that run with it, that run with it. But he was absolutely wrong. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. You know, what needs to be done is bringing the country together, not dividing the country. If that all that's gonna do is cause more division. Well, some people might say, well, he didn't do it. Somebody in the White House did it. Well, we need to know who it was. We need to know who it was. We need to know the person that did it. Do they still work for the White House? We need to know who they were. And the president need to come out and make a statement. Because we all know Donald Trump stays on social media. He stays on Truth Social, posting all day, every day. That's all he do. He's on the internet more than these YouTubers. I said it. He's on the internet more than anybody. All he do is post, post, post. We already know this already. And in my opinion, it is Black History Month. I'm gonna be the first one to come out and say Donald Trump was wrong. Even if he didn't do it, he knows what's on this social media account. They say that post, that video, been up for like 10 or 12 hours before they even took it down. Well, where is the apology? Come out and type something. I don't even think he typed anything. So in my opinion, Chad, he was that's out of line. Especially how the video was put together. You got Obama and Michelle dressed up like apes. Like, that right there is already.
Tired of medications that just don't work? Time to take a natural approach and experience the benefits that organic food
Hold on, Chad.
no harsh chemicals, just pure natural ingredients. Experience long-lasting relief that you deserve with one to two cups of our soothing, organic anti-inflammatory tea each day. Don't wait.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that's how. They used to make fun of Black people back in the days with cartoon characters, but in 2026, you got this animated stuff. So, and then they got Joe Biden dressed up as an ape with a banana. That's three things that are really racist when it comes to Black people. Watermelon jokes, banana jokes, and apes and monkey jokes. That's three things is a no-no. And coming from the president of the United States, that's a bad look. First of all, in my opinion, being the president of the United States, you don't need to be on social media like that anyway. Because in my opinion, you don't see the president of China active on social media like that. You don't see basically none of these presidents. You don't see Putin actively like that, on social media. On social media, on social media like everybody else. You know, so of course, you know, they're going to really ride it and, you know, and use it in the politics. But at the same time, I'ma say it. That wasn't cool. That was straight up wrong. And what's making it even worse is he's not really addressing it, apologizing. Now we're gonna play a video right here, right? And I think they're saying that he's gonna speak on it a little bit. He just did this a few minutes ago. So we're gonna watch this and see exactly what he has to say about that particular video. But in my opinion, I think that Trump, our president, should, hey, I apologize for doing that and explain to us like he explained everything else. Explain to us and don't ignore it. You know, it's Black History Month, man. You know, it's Black History Month. And the country is already divided, right? They're already talking about the Super Bowl. We're going to have 2 different Super Bowl shows, guys, for the Super Bowl. Yeah, 2 different halftime shows for the Super Bowl. That never happens. You know, and they're trying to politicize the Super Bowl, which one thing about football, it brings us together. We already divided, but that's one thing. Football is one thing that Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives can put all that to the side and actually have a good time. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that America is all about. Football. We love football. Politics has no business in football. You know, and what we witnessed today about this video with Obama and Michelle dressed up as apes and Biden dressed up as an ape eating a banana, you know, that right there has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with Trump policies. It has everything to do with your morals and your principles. And with being the president of the United States, we all know Donald, you know, I love Donald Trump policies. I'm the first one to say it. I like what he do, you know, I like the things that he put down as a president. But as a person, I've said it many times on this channel. He can, you know, his personality, I really don't like that much. I've said that multiple times. But like in business, right? Your best business partners can be somebody who you really don't like as a person, but they do good business. You know, they know how to run a business. They know how to run a company. They know how to put a plan together. But they morals and principles don't align with you. But hey, we do good business. You know, we do our business and we go our separate ways. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's Black History Month, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got to have some kind of respect. He has to have some kind of respect for that. And that's not an opinion. That's a fact. And see, that's the one thing about America, and that's the one thing about this channel. This is the freedom of speech channel. You know, it's not right, Hendricks. It's not about Democrat and Republic. It's about good or evil. That's exactly what it's about. Good versus evil. You know what I'm saying? And we as people, as a collective, as we the people, we got to come together, man. We have to come together, right? As liberals, liberals, Democrats, Republicans, and conservatives. We got to come together and be like, hey, man, this is wrong, bro. You can't just do anything, right? You are the president of the United States. You are the most powerful man in the world. He has to know how to separate his own personality from being the president. Soon as you got elected and you accepted that oath, okay, I am the president. I got to carry myself a certain way. In other words, Chad, you got to have morals and principles. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't about a 401k plan. Everything ain't about a stock. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't about crypto. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't about investments. You got to have morals and principles. That is also an investment on how you carry yourself as a person and your morals and principles about life and about other people is also an investment. So we're going to watch this chat. This is not going to be a long live. I had to come on live and address this because I had to, chat. You know what I'm saying? Even though I rock with Donald Trump, a lot of his policies, everybody that's been on this channel already know this, but guess what? I will also call him out on his bullshit. And what he did today was wrong. Also, this making the Super Bowl political is also wrong. You know, because football is the one thing that brings us together as Americans, as humans on this earth. Football is one of the main things that bring us together. Where nobody's worried about politics, and we can enjoy a great football game with whoever and have a good time. But they are trying to turn the Super Bowl chat into politics, man. So thank y'all for joining me, chat. We're finna see what Donald Trump has to say. Thank y'all for joining me. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Here we go.
It looks like they want to make a deal very badly, as they should. Last time they decided maybe not to do it, but I think they probably feel differently. We'll see what the deal is. It'll be different than last time. And we have a big armada, we have a big fleet heading in that direction. We'll be there pretty soon.
Okay. Bandit. Yes, it was a staffer. But at the same time, we supposed to know who it was. We supposed to know if he got fired. And also Donald Trump need to make a post and be like, hey, America, the world, like he posts everything else, he tweet about everything else. He needs to come out and say, look, y'all, I apologize. This what happened. And guess what? That staffer is no longer on the staff. We have fired the staffer. And I want to apologize to all the Black African Americans in this country, Democrat and Republican, because I am the president of the United States. I appreciate y'all for paying attention to this matter. Like he said it all the time. That's what he needs to come out and say. It's Black History Month. It's about morals and principles.
So we'll see how that works out. The stock market, as you know, broke a number that they thought was going to be impossible to break. Certainly during my first year, they said if you could do it in your fourth year, by the fourth year, we broke 50,000 on the Dow. Most people thought that was not possible to do so quickly. We did it in the first year. So we're about 3 years ahead of schedule. It's going good. Prices are way down. You don't hear the Democrats talking about affordability anymore, which they caused the affordability problem very badly. But you don't hear that word. I haven't heard that word spoken in a week and a half because they can't speak because the prices are down. Energy's down. If you look at oil, if you look at gasoline, a gallon of gasoline in Iowa, I was there last week, was $1.85, $1.89, and $1.99 at 3 different stations. And it's that way in a lot of places. So gasoline is way down, energy's down, groceries are down. We've broken the Biden disaster, the mess that I inherited. The border is extremely secure, more so than it's ever been. We've got 9 months with 0 people coming in illegally. And I think the immigration problem is, we're doing very well. And crime is at a record low for 125 years. It's just announced. Lowest it's been since 1900. That's pretty good. That's a long time. So, do you have any questions, John?
The social media post that you took down earlier today, the White House says that a staffer sent it. Who sent it, and are you going to fire them?
I looked at it. I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud. And I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a picture that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, and it was really about voter fraud in and the machines, how crooked it is, how disgusting it is. Then I gave it to the people. Generally, they look at the whole thing, but I guess somebody didn't, and they posted, and we took it down, and we turned it, But that was a voter fraud that nobody talks about. They don't like to talk about that post. We took it down as soon as we found out about it.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, and I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. And they had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on The Lion King. And certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it. And probably they would have had the sense to take it down. But that was a takeoff on The Lion King. And a lot of people were covered on in different positions. So, but I spoke to Tim Scott. He was great. Tim is a great guy. He understood that 100%. Go ahead.
Mr. President, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner met with Iran's foreign minister today. You also had Brad Cooper there, the head of CENTCOM. A deal doesn't look like it's been reached yet. How long are you willing to wait?
A deal can be reached. Well, you have to get in position. We have.
Well, Chad, he said he ain't gonna apologize. That's what he said. He said he ain't gonna really speak on it like that. I guess that's all we gonna hear from him. Is that he's saying that it was a mistake. They was only supposed to show the voter fraud, and somehow it was digital, and these videos can be kind of funny, and it was a mistake, and the whole thing got put out there. So that's what he's saying, Chad, that it basically was a mistake. That the only thing that was supposed to be retweeted was the video about the voter fraud, but then the other part, it was a editing mishap. It was a mistake. And he said, they asked him, are you going to apologize? And he said, no. Let me rewind it.
But I spoke to Tim Scott. He was great. Tim is a Lion King. Thousands of things. And I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. We took it down as soon as possible. Generally, they look at the whole thing, but some kind of a picture that people. And I looked at it. I saw it. Lowest has been since 1900. That's pretty good. That's a long time. So, do you have any questions, John?
Mr. President,
Media post that you took down earlier today. The White House says that a staffer sent it. Who sent it, and are you going to fire them?
I looked at it. I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud. And I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a picture that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, and it was really about voter fraud in and the machines, how crooked it is, how disgusting it is. Then I gave it to the people. Generally, they look at the whole thing, but I guess somebody didn't, and they posted, and we took it down, and we turned it. But that was a voter fraud that nobody talks about. They don't like to talk about that post. We took it down as soon as we found out about it.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, and I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. And they had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on The Lion King. And certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, I look at a lot of thousands of things. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. And they had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, post, we took it down as soon as we found out about it.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. And they had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on The Lion King. And certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it. And probably they would have had the sense to take it down. But that was a takeoff on The Lion King. And a lot of people were covered on in different positions. So, but I spoke to Tim Scott. He was great. Tim is a great guy. He understood that 100%. Go ahead.
Mr. President, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner met with Iran's foreign minister today. You also had Brad Cooper there, the head of CENTCOM. A deal doesn't look like it's been reached yet. How long are you willing to wait?
A deal can be reached. Well, you have to get in position. We have plenty of time. If you remember Venezuela, we waited around for a while, and we're in no rush. We have, very good talks going with Iran. We have very good talks going with Russia and Ukraine. We're doing a lot of good talking, and I think we had the results today were with Iran. It was a meeting. We're going to meet again early next week, and they want to make a deal. Iran, as they should, want to make a deal. They know the consequences if they don't make a deal. The consequences are very steep. So we'll see what happens. But they had a very good meeting with a very high representative of Iran, and we'll see how it all turns out.
Civil human rights groups.
See that. By the way, I'd love to see that. If we could do that, I'd love to see it.
Mr. President,
is a deal that is acceptable that only covers? With Iran, is there a deal that only covers nuclear that would be acceptable to you? Because they just want to have nuclear. They don't want to have anything else.
Like that would be acceptable, but the one thing, and right up front, no nuclear weapons. If we could have made that deal 2 years ago, we would have made that deal, but they weren't willing to do that. Now they are willing to do it. So they're willing to do much more than they would have a year and a half ago, or even a year ago when don't forget, we've only been doing this for exactly 1 year. And we started with them a few months after the beginning of this term. This term has been amazing. But the results could surprise people. If they would have offered this deal originally when we first started, it would have been accepted immediately. We'll see what happens now.
Mr. President, a number of people in the MAGA base say they aren't satisfied with the administration just focusing on deporting violent criminals.
Who are you with?
I'm Natalie Ellison with the Washington Post.
Washington, well, you having a hard time getting readers. Washington Post is doing very poorly. Go ahead. You have a very bad attitude. Go ahead.
Well, a number of people in your base say that they want to see all illegal immigrants deported, even ones who are otherwise
Let me tell you about my
non-violent.
base. Let me tell you about my base. My base has never been stronger. My base is me and other very good people that love our country. And if you talk about my base or the MAGA base, you could call it a lot of America First base. They couldn't be more thrilled. We have crime down to the lowest level that it's been in 125 years. We have a border that's totally closed. We have all the things that our base wanted, and we have the best economy in history. Prices are down. We inherited very high prices and the highest inflation in the history of our country. Think of it, the highest or 48 years. Some people say 48 years, but I'll take either one. So my base is very happy.
But would you support mass deportations of people who are otherwise law-abiding?
See everybody, but we're focusing on the criminals. We're focusing on killers. But ultimately, they all broke the law. Some can, if they do it in a certain way, they can go out. They can come back if they do it properly. But as you know, a lot of people have been deported. A lot. but the focus is on the murder.
Well, chat, I think that's it. We heard it. He's not going to apologize. He's saying that somebody who's running the account posted that. You know, he didn't say that they fired that person. He didn't tell us who they were or none of that. So I guess that's going to be it. You know, I think it was real disrespectful. I don't think it was cool. I think, in my opinion, that the president shouldn't even be on social media like that. I think he should be trying to run the country and do what's best for the American people. That's exactly what I think, you know, and I think just because of the situation that he should address the people, if not with just a tweet, or a post, just address the people and then put at the end of it like he always do. Thank you for paying attention to this matter. I think that's what he should do, you know, but hey, what we got to understand, guys, is that a lot of this stuff is to distract us from what's going on. And we got to stay focused. We got to stay focused. We got to stay focused. We can't get emotional. We got to stay on the prize, which is making sure you earning, making sure you spending less, and making sure you making proper investments, making sure you teach it to your kids and grandkids, make sure you teach it to the people in your circle, and then teach it to everybody around the world. That's what we got to make sure.
How do you know that? You have no hard evidence. You based your entire case on the word of an indicted felon. Like every incentive to tell you what you wanted to hear. Ralph Myers testified on his own accord, and it made no sense. He couldn't face it.
We had a hiccup right there, chat, but I was about to end it anyway. But we got to stay focused. We got to stay paying attention to what's going on. Don't get distracted by all the drama. You know, don't get distracted. Keep our eyes on the prize. Like I said before the interruption, you got to make sure you earning. You got to make sure you're spending less. You got to make sure you are making proper investments. You got to make sure you teach it to your kids. Make sure you got a foundation, you know, and teach it to your friends and to the people around the world. We can't get distracted. There's going to be a lot of distractions this weekend. There's going to be a lot of distractions this year. You know, we got to make sure we stay on the prize. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on all notification bells. Donald Trump needs to apologize to the people, and make it right. With that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all, chat. To the next one, I'm out. I love y'all, chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when we go live. I'm out.